Hey everyone, it's Talk to Meshiff here, back after a long hiatus from casting.
And I'm Axion, as always, and we have a match on Lost Temple between the Blue Zerg in the southern position, Cabolish, who I believe we have casted a game or two of before. And in the top, we have the Red Zerg, Majin, or Majin, not quite sure how to pronounce it. Just exchanging little pleasantries. Good luck, have fun. It's always good to be polite. And we just talk a little bit about our break. We've just been super swamped with the holidays and school and all of that, so we do apologize for the absence of casting.
Yeah, definitely. We really enjoyed the support that you guys gave us before we took this month-long hiatus. But hopefully you guys are still around. You haven't, forgot about us. Keep sending us your replays. We are going to get back in casting, and we're hoping to do some cool things in the future. Maybe bring in some guest casters so we can get even more games uploaded. Um, as a 2v2 team, we've actually been putting in a bunch of games, and we are now 2,000 gold players, for what it's worth. So we have been moving up ourselves. We're very excited about that, and yeah, we'd like to get continued support from you guys.
Yep, and shameless plugging, always good. But whatever. Looks like we have an extractor going down for Cabolish there on 15. No pool yet from either player, so it looks like we could be seeing early expansions as Majin is moving a drone down there, and he is going to expand as Cabolish's pool does go down. Now, it's always risky to early expand and ZVZ unless you know that your opponent is not going for a super early pool. Oh, sorry, excuse me, I'm a little bit sick, battling flu, so I apologize for the voice. But as we noticed the players earlier, they were just kind of commenting on how they were really not having much fun with ZVZ, and this can be because it oftentimes deteriorates to just kind of a Zergling Baneling early battle, and it's really hard to get longer games out of it because they just end very quickly.
Yeah, so we'll see what will come out of this game. We do see the pool going down here for Majin, probably about a third of the way through, or just about half actually. If I get my math there correctly on those numbers. But we see Cabalish sending his overlords out, scatting around the map. Always very good. Got his two overlords are going to meet right here up in the top left. But he's really is trying to get map control early on. See exactly what his opponents are doing because as a Zerg, it's hard to get anti-air units out early besides Queens. So use those overlords to really see exactly what you're doing because in StarCraft, oftentimes the number one commodity is information. The most important asset to your game plan is the information of what your opponent is doing, so you can best counter that.
And if we take a look at Cabalish's base, it looks like he has pulled drones off the gas after getting the Zergling speed, which is pretty common to do, and he is throwing down an expansion, as well as sending these initial 6 Zerglings that he built out to do a little bit more scouting and harassment. I don't think he's really going to be able to do too much damage. I mean, Majin has 2 Zerglings here already, and he has a Roach Warren on the way. He could easily just produce a couple more, but it doesn't even look like he's going to pull in for attack. It looks like Cabalish is just going to back out and try to kill a scouting drone.
Yeah, and that's always good. The less information your opponent can get, the better off you are. Although this Madden's drone is going to get all the way in here, and we're coming up on just about 5 minutes in the game now, and it's been not been too confrontational yet. We're seeing both these players, have gotten their expansions as Zerg like to do. ZVZ is really a really interesting dynamic. I think that it's often underestimated the combinations of units that like players can go to counter each other because in any mirror matchup actually, but you just don't see that many Zerg versus Zerg, and so we see these Zerglings going to engage up here, but I think with the Zergling speed of Cabalish, he might have a slight edge, but now that Majin sees that, he pulls back, and these drones probably should get out of here, but it looks like they are going to go all down.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has enough to engage once this queen gets down here, but the Zergling speed really the key factor there. Allowed him to outmaneuver and jump past Majin's forces and pick off a few drones there, as a second queen is popping. It does look like we have 3 roaches on the way from Majin, and once those get there, that plus the Zerglings will certainly be enough to fend off this attack.
Yeah, I maybe would have liked to see Kabalash pump a few more lings and reinforce with he's got a few out here in front of his natural. If he reinforced, he could have potentially, before those roaches popped, could have considered trying to snipe the at least the queen, or if not the entire natural expansion. So that could have been really big, but it does look like now the roaches are here, he is going to have to pull out.
Yes, and as we see a mainland nest almost done from Cabolish here. This is an interesting choice. Players often go Zergling Baneling, although if you watch the higher level games, they've been tending away from that just because they can micro their Zerglings so well that you can pretty much just trade one Zergling for one Baneling, which is just not a good trade for the Baneling player. So they've been tending to go away from that if you have good enough micro.
So it looks like Majin is thinking about pushing in here. He's going to pull out, it looks like. And, I'd almost like to see Cabolish maybe chase that down, try to get surround on these three roaches who are kind of alone, but it looks like the Zerglings are going to come back to protect them from the Zergling surround. But we do have Cabolish's own roaches coming down finally. So we'll see if he does have the Banelings nest complete now, so we'll see if he decides to make something, make a few Banelings. He does have enough gas. He's continuing to mine. He does have 2 gas now. I don't think he's mining out of his second one yet. So he really has the different opportunities available to him now. But it looks like Majin is going to move in now with about 6 or 7 roaches. So the boss could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, it really just depends if he's able to get a surround off on these roaches, but I don't think he has quite enough lings, and he's going to need to get some more on the way. I need to back that queen up so it can help fight with this other queen. I mean, it was really just going to go down there. That queen fighting on her own is going to go down so quickly. The drones are even going in to help out, but he really needs these Zerglings to get out here quickly, or it could be a very early GG.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Cabolish right now. He should have rallied away from the battle. But looks like the roaches are going to go in here and start attacking this. He is making more Zerglings from these eggs, but he should make sure to, yes, there he goes. He's rallying them away so he, doesn't get a missed rally. And he's going to go in and try to get the surround. He feels like he has enough, and these roaches are actually continuing to attack the hatchery. So that was a little bit of a mistake, allowing one of them to get surrounded, and looks like the retreating ones are going to get surrounded as well. They should really at least try to get some hits off, but looks like they were not attack moved, and they will all go down.
Now they will, but it looks like we have a counterattacking Zerg. Well, not a counterattacking, a reinforcing Zergling and Roach force here from Majin, meeting in the middle.
Yeah, and that's going to be able to repel them. We do see a Spire on the way up in Majin's main, so that's something to think about. If he is able to get some Mutas out before Cabolish can react, it could be GG, a very quick GG, as he does have no anti-air.
Yeah, I mean, while I do think the Spire tech is a nice tech switch here, he really doesn't have the gas to support that. He's running off of 1 geyser on 2 base, and if he wants to do any sort of muta play in a legitimate sense, he's going to need 4 gas geysers there to get the gas that they need.
Yeah, and we do see a second one going up, and we finally see a bunch of drones popping out here at the expansion, so he just finally now is getting better saturation there. I think he only had 2 drones out there for quite a while, and we see the 3rd extractor going up as well, so he's getting the gas that he needs.
Yeah, it's one thing you always have to be careful of as Zerg is using your larva well. It's not a problem that I have as a Terran player. I can build workers and units at the same time from different buildings. But it's really the conundrum for Zerg is when to build those drones and when to build those units.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Cabolish maybe sit back here. He could drone up a little bit. He's in a pretty good defensive position. There he goes, transferring some more drones down here to expansion. He's got some Banelings, so those will really help deal with any of the enemy's Zerglings. He's getting good creep spread, so he's going to be able to see an attack coming. But he should continue to move his overlords around up in his opponent's base. Let me see, if we look at his vision, he has not even seen his opponent's main, so he really has no idea what is going on there. He does not see the Spire. He really could be anything coming, and he just wouldn't know about it. So I would like to see him, use those overlords to scout your opponent's base. There's really no reason not to, even if it means sacrificing one. Like I said, that information can be more valuable than the amount of units you have.
Yeah, and see, this is the problem that I was talking about. While he does have enough gas now, if we look at Majin, he's got about 400. He was only able to make 1 initial Mutalisk when that Spire did pop, just because he didn't have the gas to support it. And 1 Mutalisk, I mean, sure, it can go and scout, but it's really not going to be effective in that little numbers.
Yeah, I mean, there really could have been the game-changing unit if he did have enough to mass produce them and kind of get them out in a surprising manner. All he'd have to come down here is snipe. Let's see, how many queens does he have? He has Cabolish only has 3 queens, so I'm not sure exactly on the numbers, but I think 5 or 6 mutas would be able to without as long as the queens were low on energy and could not transfuse each other, just 5 or 6 mutas would be able to take them all out, and Cabolish would be in big trouble. So definitely plan ahead when you're getting your tech buildings. If you're gonna try to get mutas out, you're gonna need to get that gas earlier than Majin did here.
Yeah, I think you would need a little bit more than 5 or 6 mutas to take out 3 queens, but it would definitely be a close battle. And it looks like we do have the mutas making their way across the map.
Yeah, and when they find these queens in isolation, that's the situation I
Yeah,
was
that's
talking about.
that's
Like
where
they're
they're
about
very
to.
powerful.
This queen is gonna maybe snipe one muta. With good micro, he could even micro that muta to the back, but that queen goes down, and all 5 mutas are still up. So they are gonna do a bunch of economic damage here. It's not looking good. But in the meanwhile, we see Cabolish moving in anyways, kind of a base race here. He is gonna go try to take out his opponent's base before his opponent can take out his base. He does have a bunch of lings reinforcing, a few more roaches on the way. This could be a close race. These mutas are doing quite a bit of damage, and they're gonna get this last queen, I think. And Cabolish wisely pulls his drones out of there, knows he's in trouble, but he's doing a bunch of damage up here, and I think he might actually be able to win this by simply taking out most of his opponent's units.
Yeah, it's going to come really right down to the wire. If Majin could some way sneak an expo somewhere, it looks like he doesn't quite have enough minerals. He could use those mutas and essentially just win the game because Cabolish doesn't have any anti-air, but it looks like he's not going to be able to escape in time. He doesn't quite have enough minerals for another hatchery, and I think that Cabolish, drones in hand, is going to be able to take down Majin's lair and win this game.
Yeah, the mutas did pull back, and they are doing a little bit of damage here, but the drones do come up here. Cabolish does have enough for a couple expansions, so I would like to see him hide a drone. You shouldn't necessarily bring them up here, just because if it came down to it, he was going to need to keep his buildings alive, as these mutas were doing damage, but they realized that he's going to lose his base unless he gets back up there. But it looks like Cabolish is going to have enough here to take out all these buildings, and Majin just does not have enough. He doesn't have enough minerals to build. Another thing, these 5 roaches here by the gold were kind of left sitting there most of the time. And
Yeah, I mean, he did clear out the gold, which shows he definitely had a plan to go there. Just got base traded. Sometimes that happens. I really would have liked to see from both players some better saturation. I mean, you pointed out Meshif at Majin's natural there. He did not have great saturation for most of the game. He had about 2 or 3 drones, and then Cabolish actually took quite a long time to expand initially. He saw his opponent expanded, and one way you can respond to that is with the pool, or you yourself can expand, because you know there's not going to be any early pressure. And he chose the pool route, which is fine, but once I saw those initial defenses set up with some Zerglings, I would have liked to see an expansion as well, because had that base of Majin been saturated earlier, he would have been much further ahead of Cabolish in economy than he actually was.
yeah, I definitely have to agree with you on that. In a mirror matchup like this, it was really about making sure your economy is powerful enough to support whatever unit composition you're going. And the tech switch to mutas could have been enough, but like I said, he didn't get enough mutas out early enough. He was able to get down here, but then his main base was left completely undefended. He forgot about these 5 roaches over here. He never had enough saturation here to get enough minerals. He could have put up some spine crawlers. When you go mutas, that's something you maybe should think about, is putting up a few static defenses to hide the mutas that much longer, and to kind of protect your base, because your main force, your mutas, are going to be out across the map rather than at home protecting. So unfortunately, while he did try a good strategy here, it kind of blew up in his face when he didn't leave enough behind to protect his main. Cabolish realized this, moved out right at the right time, kind of went all in, brought his drones up here, as well as bring one drone over here to the right to make his expansion, to make sure that he did stay alive. So I really like that play by Cabolish. Great play. Thanks for sending us the replay. Everyone else up there, keep supporting the channel by sending us more replays so we have some more games to cast. We are officially back. Hopefully we'll be doing some more fun stuff.